To say the least, 2020 was quite the year. With its ups and downs, mostly downs, it was easy to get lost in what might seem to be a non-stop news cycle of downs, depressants, and, well, this. It's why movies, TV shows, books, and in this case, games, are so important to help drown out the wall of sound that we call life. But in a year where it seems like every game is as full of as much background noise as everything else, I was desperately looking for that next escape. So while searching for something new to play while my Series X decided that it needed to spend an entire day downloading Call of Duty, I stumbled upon what might be the most relaxing, frustrating, and rewarding game experience I've had all year, and it's called LoFi Ping Pong. Alright, so while the premise may seem stupid, and the name sure isn't helping there, also at first glance, the gameplay looks like it's just another indie rhythm game where you play as a metronome. There's a lot more here than I could have ever anticipated. From its very heavily 3 a.m. and I miss you lo-fi playlist aesthetics, to the simple but impactful story about learning to accept the inevitable. And it's almost impossibly difficult at first, but then rewarding and at times mesmerizing gameplay loop, LoFi Ping Pong has so much packed into it that I quickly realized I needed to tell everyone about this game as soon as I watched the credits roll. As I mentioned earlier, the gameplay is simple. It's just another rhythm game where you need to time your strikes to the music. There's a visual guide on screen in the form of 3 boxes, and while they do help, you quickly realize that you need to play the game on beat to really get anywhere. This can be extremely frustrating at first, not because it's hard, but simply because most games in this genre make it almost too easy to get the timing right. There are no big on-screen flashes when it's the right time to hit the button, and on the PC version, there's no room for error. If you miss a beat, you start over. Thankfully, the songs are relatively short, and once you figure out the gameplay loop, it becomes natural. The Switch port does allow for 3 misses per song, which was much needed. So if you're not very good at rhythm games or have no experience playing anything to a click track, then I would suggest either the Switch port or play the PC version with unlimited continues. Yeah, you can thank me later for this one. There are variations of how you'll play ping pong, from the standard, well, ping pong, to the more complex modifiers such as win, scatter shot, and even doubles. All of these are brutally hard at first, but with a little practice, it becomes second nature, and that's where the game goes from a fun distraction to an almost meditative experience. After I realized that the gameplay was more about me becoming a click track rather than having to worry about timing shots and boxes, I was able to get lost in the game's music and let my mind wander. The story is simple here, but surprisingly, it's also really deep. LoFi Ping Pong stars a girl named Ping Pong, at least that's what we're told once by whatever this is. She's dealing with the realization that something out of her control is happening to her, and it's not good. Throughout the game, you're told her side of the story, through text messages and bizarre Hotline Miami-like cutscenes in which she experiences the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. While we're not given specific details on what happened to her and why, you're given a few context clues in the game's environments and text that do an excellent job at environmental storytelling. From the obvious angry text about a guy, to the way that the enemy and arenas mutate from a normal summer day to a darker beach setting, the slow decline in temperature, the lack of any other people anywhere, and the context clues in the game's world such as ping pong is sick and breathe deep really set the tone in the game. Side note, I totally thought this meant ping pong was sick, as in like ping pong's sick, but apparently it meant that the character ping pong was ill, which just blame my dumb millennial brain on that one. Anyways, art is all about interpretation, and similar to my earlier view on the game Kids, I love that I'm able to interpret the story the way I want to and let it take me on a journey. And unlike so many other games this year that would rather beat me over the head with its message and themes, LoFi Ping Pong seems to do what so many others, with budgets the size of its creators' egos, fail to do.
For Ellie, it was very much, okay, you know you're in the present tense on this vengeance quest. There's going to be, and we want to talk in a grounded way about PTSD.
It may sound dumb, and I'm probably overthinking it like usual, but after a while, I found myself focused only on the music, and everything else seemed to just drown away. The thoughts of today's news cycle, bills, the holidays, working out, work, all of it, just kind of forgotten for a brief moment. And that's something I really can't say for anything else I've played this year. While 2020 did bring some really great games, they all seem like they wanted to tell me a story or sell me an idea instead of just letting me, a player, get lost in its brief distraction and ultimately just let me have fun. Games are important. They help millions of people every day escape the realities of their lives and the world around them. And while some of these are more effective than others, it's always nice to see something come along and try to do something a little different, a little familiar, and most importantly, a little more. Hey everyone, thanks for watching that one. It's a bit shorter than usual, which I feel like I say after the end of every video. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna cover a certain cyberpunk game that everyone's been talking about, but I think it'd be better to wait until that story like totally unfolds and, you know, kind of see where that goes. And other than that, if you're watching this around the holidays, happy holidays, and if not, happy whatever is closest to you on the calendar. Just we'll you know, insert that right here. Be sure to do that thing that everyone says to do at the end of a video, but don't feel pressure to do it because that is stupid. And yeah, until next time, go do something nice with someone. It'll make you feel better, make you taller, whatever. Yeah. All right. Take care.